Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Even with drops, missing a race could be detrimental to your points lead. For now, at least, Ethan Armbruster took the points lead from Grant Sloan in the AM class just by showing up last week, but the real story comes from Lincoln Olson. 2 for 2 for wins this season, missing the first 2 races. He sits nicely in the point standings. However, he'll have 3 goose eggs, as he will not be in attendance this week. Will the winning later on in the season overcome the extra 0 on his chart? He's been dominant when he's been on the track, so it might cure all ails. Meanwhile, the rest of the field kind of licking their chops after last week at Lime Rock Park, and now they get to figure out what can be done to stop the Olsen attack. It's time to battle the grip from Petite and run 30 minutes around the Georgia Clay. Welcome to Road Atlanta, live and in color on Apex Racing TV. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching this broadcast. My name is Jeremy Scott. Charles Bochel's alongside, Jonathan Grabowski is back in the truck, plugging in the sights and sounds of another classic racetrack, as we saw last week in real life time. It was another spectacular Petite Le Mans, but now, Charles, it's time for the F4 cars to take their assault on this 2-mile ribbon.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeremy. This is going to be a very difficult race for these drivers. Obviously, we saw how really tight technical track affected the race last week. This is going to be obviously much more open track. Still some very technical corners here, but a lot more speed. You're going to get a little bit of drafting down this long back straight that we're going to see here from Ahmad, as he heads down, and it's just basically it's a drag race down here to get down to turn 10A and B, which we've already talked about before the race, being the turn 5, and then 10A and B are probably the two of the more difficult corners in all of racing. Just very, very dangerous. This track will make you look like a hero or make you look like a fool. Depends on how well you can handle the corners and the curbs.
So you see the left-hand side of your screen, that's the tower. There's one driver who is blank, and that's the double OT 5. It is known as SUPERLAP 5. Now, we have put a message out to the team over there at SUPERLAP to see who it is, so hopefully we'll have that for you a little bit later on in the race. But it's interesting to note that Zohair Ahmad is to the top of the time chart so far, 20.731. And, we talked about the fact that Lincoln Olson not in attendance, so everybody probably thinking, okay, we can just go out in front. Well, now you got another driver who is coming up to the front that is not Lincoln Olson, but it looks like somebody who's going to be a thorn in the side of everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. It just takes a really 2 or 3 good races to cement yourself up at the top of the order. So, Ahmad is looking like he has got some nice pace tonight. We see Ryan Goff just behind him, about 2/10 of a second back, and then Brennan Latta, who had some strong pace last week, but ended up getting into trouble, and I don't think had a good result. So. We'll see how it all works out. This obviously, once again, lends itself to a little bit cleaner racing as far as contact between the two cars, but the track itself is still very much of a challenge.
Well, in spite of, and I'm sure you remember this, instead of turning left at 10A, you went straight down under the bridge into the front straightaway. There's still a lot of technical corners regardless, but it is one of the tougher tracks, and it lends to one of the better endurance racing tracks in the country. But, we've seen a couple of F4 races in real life here, and it's been quite interesting.
Yeah, it really has. It's I've been to Road Atlanta in real life. Was there for 2019 for the Petite Le Mans. Fantastic facility to watch a race. You sit up there on the outside of Turn 5 at Spectator Hill. You get to watch that big pack of cars come down through the S's. It's just it's an amazing sight to behold. These cars, obviously not the big cars that we're used to dealing with. So they'll create their own challenges here. Good pace. Obviously, these cars we talked about. Maybe a little more a little more horsepower than downforce, and makes the rears a little sketchy. And when you have curbing like that we have here at Road Atlanta, that's going to make the racing difficult.
And of course, David Grodzinski giving us a lesson on a couple of the tough areas around the circuit, turn 1 especially. That outside grass really is inviting. It loves race cars. And then you go through the S's around 2 and 3. You really mess up there, and you're going for a ride. Also, we mentioned turn 5. And really, anywhere you look, it's strange as we have one car into the wall right there. Not sure which one that is. But it looks like Keach was the car, Bob Keach, the number 51, as you're on board. And yeah, I actually had a chance to announce there myself, and it is an absolutely fantastic facility. And what's cool was sitting in the old press box, watching the cars come down through 11 and 12. It's just so awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I was there as a spectator, but I did make my way over to the walkover bridge there, right above the exit of 10B. And yeah, it's just a great site. There's really, really lots of really great places to watch a race here. I think I spent most of my time actually on the side of the hill coming out of the pits and watching the cars come out of turn 1, and that was quite a blast as well. So yeah, great facility for racing. Whether you're a driver or a spectator, you're guaranteed to get some enjoyment out of this. As looks like qualifying's over, we've got our drivers on the final lap of this session, and so we'll be able to set the grid and get into our warm-up session.
And Eric Halsman getting his first flyer in. He's on the green right now, coming off of turn number 5, headed down towards the right-hander at turn number 6. He's in the green right there as well. Of course, this means it's his fastest lap, so we'll see where he puts in. He has not logged a flyer as of yet, coming down the long straightaway. And of course, we keep mentioning that Halsman not able to make qualifying from the start, so a little bit of a wiggle there. He almost ended up in the back of somebody.
Yeah, somebody was. You can't park there, sir. You cannot park on the backstretch. Just call Eric out just a little bit as he's cresting the hill on the backstretch, and looks like he's in for a good lap. No off tracks, so we'll see what his lap time is. We talked about him.
Oh no!
That's just over. Coming out of 11 into the final corner to cross the start.
Oh, so
he's going to be in the back of the field again tonight. Eric, we need to get you in here about 5 minutes earlier next time.
I was going to say, are we going to have to start writing notes for Eric's boss? Please allow the show up as drivers are heading out for the warm-up session. Again, it's a 10-minute warm-up session. So while we have that, let's kind of wrap up Lime Rock Park with a bow. We mentioned that Big Ben was going to be a big problem at the start of the race. Unfortunately, we were right, and a little bit of argy-bargy there. But nonetheless, it was still an interesting race, to say the least. And I think that we learned a lot on how the season's going to run when all drivers are around.
Yeah, I think we had a little. It was not the worst attrition rate we've had this year. Road America, that first race was pretty bad, but there was a lot more attrition than I really expected at Lime Rock. Obviously, not the fastest track because it's a very short track. But it was compressed enough that we did have some cars finding each other on the track, making some mistakes. We did have a lot of cars that really not necessarily wreck their car, but definitely hurt their laps just getting off tracks and getting slowdowns in certain sections, and having to just kind of losing time here and there. And having to try and make that up, which I think maybe caused a little more of the attrition as they were kind of forced to push the car a little harder than may have wanted to try and make up that time. And so not a horrible race, but not a great race. So we'll call that a mid-packer, and we'll hope that we're going to get a really good race today.
I really hope we get a good race as well. And, the drivers kind of get inside their heads where it's like, you know what, you can't win the race on the first lap, but you sure as heck can lose it. I've sat in many a drivers meeting as an announcer, and, you hear that point drilled home, and you never hear it drilled home more so than when Bo Barfield, the race director for IMSA, sits there and takes care of that and says, hey, guys, don't be stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing is you hear that. And inevitably, somebody doesn't hear that message, and it ends up causing issues internally. But it's so true, and it's just it's a racer mentality. You want to get off to a really good start, and sometimes the want to get a really good start kind of overrides the sense of I need to be able to finish this race. Oh, so we see arm booster going around. We're going to see that quite a bit as those curbs on the outside of one. We'll do that absolutely every time if you connect wrong. And a lot of these curbs at Road Atlanta will. It's just one of those tracks that the curbs are pretty detrimental to a fast lap time. And as you can see, we see Keach, and there's turn 5. And that's why that is one of the places we'll see a lot of incidents, because you have to take the curbs to get a fast time through that corner. It's just the nature of the beast. And so Bob did a good job of getting the right line through there, getting the car straightened out before really trying to put the power down. So no real spin. So he did a really good job, but got a little wide there through 6 and 7, which is another thing that we'll see. The curbs at turn 7 for one of the slowest corners on track are absolutely will ruin your race.
Exactly. And, you have to really respect those corners, because a lot of them are just so fast. But once you get through turn 7, 6, okay, this is fine. Oh, no, it's not fine. When you get to turn 7, you really got to make sure that you're set up. And, here's the thing. Even 6 is dangerous in its own right, because if you are at least a half a groove up, you're going to end up getting sucked into that wall on driver's left.
Yeah, absolutely. You're exactly right. It's that turn 6 sets up 7, which sets up the backstretch, which is absolutely one of the most important things. You want to get a good run out of 7 to maximize your pace down the backstretch. You could end up losing a half a second just by getting a bad corner exit. So you really want to do that. So 6, 7, and then the backstretch is a very, very important combination. As you said, you want to make sure you're tight on the apex at 6 to get the most run through the corner and carry as much speed to then brake and then get a really good entry. As we see turn 10, and there's Grayson into that, and that won't be I think that'll be a precursor to what we're going to see during the race as well. Those outside curbs there at 10B are also another one of those. It's not just this car. This car doesn't really like curbs very much, but these curbs will take out GT cars. It doesn't matter what kind of car it is. It's just the nature of this track.
Well, right where Grayson also had his little incident, that's kind of like the ridge right there before you go downhill at turn 11. So, the car's already unsettled coming off of 10B, I should say, and you're still trying to make sure that you're staying. You want to get under a point. Now, we mentioned at Sebring that there's a point. I think, if I remember correctly, it's one of the lights that the drivers use as their point, per se, under the bridge there. So that's what I think as we see another car that's stopped off track. I think that's still Grayson that's still sitting there. Drivers left. Oh, I hate laughing, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, and as you're saying, so it's kind of a blind crest. Once you come out of 10B, you've got to have the right line, because obviously you've got turn 11 immediately coming over the crest of the hill, and you have to have the right line going in. Otherwise, you're going to end up wide over in the grass on the left-hand side, or you're going to end up kind of over in kind of no man's land, like you're trying to go into the pits. As you see Armbruster there, a little too much curb there, a little too much sideways coming through there, but holds on to it. It's really important that you get a good line over the hill so you can make your way through 11 and then continue on to finish off the lap. So, you need that point, that guide point as you're coming out of 10B, your aiming marker, so you can get over that crest of the hill properly, and then set yourself up to start your next lap. And there's our super lap car, the 005, who is, I've never got the name. Normally, I think we've got probably other drivers in here who have been at the SuperLap studio before. Their names have kind of been put into our software as overrides. So that kind of tells me SuperLap 5 is a new driver to our contest. So it'll be interesting if we can get a name attached to that at some point tonight.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out here throughout the night. Let's call him the Stig for now. Let's just do that.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure BBC won't mind that. Zohair Ahmad still fastest, but by a tenth of a second over Chris Murray. Campanale looking pretty good as well, and third quickest. Of course, warm-up just getting things underway. Field right now separated by about, I'd say your top 8 are all separated by three-quarters of a second, with Lotta and Armbruster running about the same lap times.
Yep, and Lotta just set a quicker lap, so he's kind of split that gap a little more. But yeah, you see a couple of drivers off the pace just a little bit, and that just could be an out lap as they're just kind of working their way around, getting the tires back up to temp. Of course, we're only under 2 minutes left in this warm-up session, and we had some drivers that just chose to relax for a bit and stretch the legs, maybe get a drink of water, go to take a pit stop before the race starts, as we're going to be in here for a 30-minute race. So we'll make sure that we've got our minds fresh and free of clutter, and no other distractions, so we can kind of focus in on our racing.
Yeah, I wish we could do the same, but then again, we're broadcasters. We got to keep talking to keep everything interesting.
That's right.
So, but nonetheless, these 10 minutes go by, and of course, these 30 minutes will go by even quicker. So, really excited to see what happens here. As we said, 13 cars have taken to practice here. Make that 14 as Gavin Walters goes to 9th quickest in the double at 6. And here's what I'm hoping. I saw a couple of cars ahead of Walters. I'm hoping that we see more of what these cars do, the drafting, because that's what makes F4 racing so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely is. There's a couple of really good, straightaways that we're going to be able to draft. Even the draft works pretty well here between 5 and 6. You get a nice little run here, and you maybe pick up a 10th as you're tucked in behind another car, and as we work our way through 6 and then into 7. And then obviously this long backstretch, they used to, we used to joke about this, where they used to land planes here as the owners of the track were kind of in the not so legal import-export business, if you get my drift, and would land their plane here to unload any potential cargo they had. So it makes for obviously makes for a good place to have a drag race, as we see Alex Carter looping it, coming through 10, just carrying a little too much speed through there as he backs off. And I think we're done with warm-up.
Charles, this is a good and pure broadcast. How dare you say that the 70s and 80s were a bunch of drug runners, the Whittington brothers, and all that fun stuff?
I did not mention the D word at all. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, all good racetracks have a not so good history sometimes, you know.
Let's just get off of this before certain race series decide to put me on the blacklist once again for next season. Zohair Ahmad, your Thays competition driver, is on the pole sitter with a 20.731. Ryan Goff sits alongside him in the number 10. Then it's Brendan Lotta and Chris Murray in row 2. Row 3, Don Botts and Chris Campanale. Row 4, Bruno Canovas. I believe it's the first time we've seen him on the grid. He'll be alongside Bob Keach. Joel Campbell, your fastest in AM, will sit 9th. And Charles, he'll be alongside your points leader in AM, Ethan Armbruster.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting in 11th will be Andrew Herschel. Jack Linder starts in P12. Gavin Walters will start in 13th. William Grayson will start in 14th as the car will move in there. We've got our SUPERLAP 5 driver starting in P15. Jay Lasco starts in 16th. Ahmed Badoun starting in 17th. Alex Carter 18th. David Grzinski starts 19th. Eric Halsman almost sets a lap, not quite enough, and will start shotgun the field. And we'll get the chance to watch him work his way up to the field because he's usually got some pretty good pace.
Yeah, he's got some great pace. We'll see what the HP Racing driver can do. And I got to say, one thing that I noticed, we didn't have anybody do a practice standing start. They realized, you know what, it's just going to be a rolling start. So that was good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got it down now. We're going to roll, and we're going to just get our line, get our tires warmed up as best we can here. Obviously, we can't get them up to full operating temp, but we'll get as much heat in them as we can. Hopefully, going to make turn 1 a little bit easier. It's not great. It's not an easy corner, even with hot tires and full sweat working. So when on this first lap, once again, we talked about it. You can't win the race in turn 1, but you absolutely can lose the race in turn 1 and make some enemies along the way if you do it too bad. So we'll hope for a really good start and have us a nice, clean race tonight.
I got to say, Ryan Goff's paint scheme this weekend looks absolutely fantastic. Almost brings back the Buzz and Hornets feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice looking paint scheme. I love the Hornet livery. We've got some nice ones out there tonight. Yep, we got a nice little Americana as well. So some sharp looking cars as he's trying to race the pace car, which I think may be a no-no. So we might have to back off that just a little bit.
Yeah, might want to get off that Porsche pace car just a little bit. Of course, Atlanta, the United States home for Porsche. They got the Porsche driving experience not too far away. Of course, also if we, Barber, don't forget there. That is also, it's kind of like vacation home. By the way, if you've never been to Barber, highly, highly recommend it.
Oh, for sure. I love Barber, obviously my home track, and just a fantastic. And hey, this week could be a good weekend to go. They got the Grand Am Series coming.
Oh, love me some ground pounders of the Trans Ams. But first up, the F4s will take assault here at Road Atlanta. The Porsche pace car will take the hard right into pit road. Zohair Ahmad and Ryan Goff will bring the field off of turn number 11. Now set for turn number 12. And already we have contact. 2, 3 cars involved as several drivers run into each other. One of the drivers involved, I believe, was the Herschel. So we've got 2, 3 wide, a battle for the lead. Don Botts takes advantage. He's going to battle with Zohair Ahmad through turn 2. Kind of sketchy there, but nonetheless, they're still side by side off of 3.
Yeah, still working their way down into the S's and still working side by side. And Goff finally gets through and picks up second place. Got Botts right behind him. We do have 2 cars. Canovas and Armbruster both have meatballs. Are going to have to come into the pits.
We'll have a replay of that here shortly, but first, actually, we'll take a look at that replay as Goff tries to go. And I'm not sure if somebody jumped early or if somebody just took a little slowdown. It looks like everybody bunching up. The 29 involved. So, yeah, multiple cars there.
Yeah, just a checkup coming down through the final corner, getting ready to take the green flag, and it's that accordion effect. And the further back you go, the harder those cars have to stop, and sometimes they just can't get it held up in time.
Oh, this is what I'm talking about with F4 Racing. We got Goff in the lead, 3 wide for second place. So far, so good. Everybody makes their way through 10A and 10B. And Ahmad, he falls back to third. Campanelli's going to get a slowdown penalty for a shortcut in the course there in turn number 10. But now we're starting to see the F4 battles we've been waiting for all season long. Your top 3 are all nose to tail. 4, 5, 6 actually are enjoying that nose to tail. But Campanelli still has to serve that slowdown penalty.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult when you're kind of tucked in between 2 cars. He finally gets it cleared, probably just lifted going into the chicane there. But yeah, this is what we're waiting on. And that's the 6-car draft train heading down into turn 5.
And that's what these F4s are famous for. Oh, look at that shot from the back of Lada. You get to see how much elevation changes there through the S's as your pole sitter sitting back there in third place is Goff. For the first time this season, really gets a good lead early as he's got Dom Botts right behind him. You're on board with Chris Murray trying to see if he can catch up to Campanelli. You take a look at the left-hand side of your screen. Look at how close the top 7 are. And then you got a battle for 8th and a battle for 10th as the Stig has made his way up to 10th.
Yeah, the Stig made his way up to 10th. Halsban's made his way up to 9th since the start of the race. We're just 2 laps in, and he's already came up from the back of the grid to be in the top 10. So he is on a mission tonight.
Up 11 spots. He's got Jay Lasco in his sights right now through 10A. Would not be surprised to see this battle heat up as well between Campanelli and Lada. Campanelli has it for now. Does he keep it, though? He's going to, as Lada's to the outside. Now Lindner is going to make a change there as Tom Botts is caught up to Ryan Goff. He's going to get the lead there. So we've got a battle for 6, a battle for the lead right in our crosshairs.
Yeah, and now we're going to see the lead swapping going on as these cars are now fully engulfed in this draft train, 7 cars deep, and so it's going to be these runs down the straightaways. You'll see that draft, that racing order flip several times potentially during the course of each lap. We do have a couple other cars, Armbruster and Keach, both in the pits as well with meatball penalties, or meatball flags, so they're in for repairs. We'll see if any of these drivers can get back out and rejoin the race.
Not sure if I think Canova's may have been involved in that as well because, yeah, the Barnbrewster, Keach, and Walters all involved in that race coming to the green flag. Goff and Botts still side by side down the back straightaway. Campbell with a slowdown penalty. Oh, don't want to touch there at turn 10. No, Botts thinks better of it. He's going to back off and have the advantage through 10A, but Goff is going to have that line through 10B. Here comes Ahmad also.
Yeah, now we got a 4 cars stacking up. As those cars go side by side, it just invites more cars to join from the back and jump into the middle of that and start missing things up. As you see Botts dropping all the way down to 4th place after getting caught out there going through the chicane.
Oh, Botts with a spin.
No.
He might be able to get out of the gravel trap. He does keep it going. So Botts, unfortunately, because everybody, oh no, did he dead stick it? No. He's going to try and get a safe rejoin, which is smart because you don't want to get that penalty for unsafe rejoin. And he's going to fall all the way back to 14th.
Yeah, that's a tough one. He just, I didn't quite see what he did, but I'm going to say we're going to get a replay here. So great job there, Jonathan. As we're on board here with Botts heading down the front straight, you see the draft starting to pick up. Everybody's tight together, and just losing maybe the left rear in the grass as he turns in for the corner and just loses the rear, and very wisely waits until the rest of the pack gets cleared. He actually changes his angle of entry back onto the track. So now he's going to have several seconds to make up, but he's got time. We're only 5 minutes into this 30-minute race.
Campanelli with the fastest lap of the race so far. Ahmad has the inside advantage through 10A. Does he keep the lead through 10B? He's not going to, as Goff takes the outside line in 10A. Now Campanelli wants second place, and he's going to try and get it. He does get it. Does he go for that lead? Goff shuts the front door on him down the front straightaway, and now we've got a 2-line draft. Here comes Campanelli to the lead. He's going to go around the outside in turn 1, almost loses it, and now Ahmad and Campanelli battling for second place.
This is crazy. This is some great racing tonight as you see the cars battling side by side down these straightaways, just trying to get an extra couple of feet out in front so they can make the corner and take a position. So far, everybody running really well. We've only had really one off track there from the lead group as the rest of these cars are battling hard.
Oh, this is just some fantastic racing. We're finally getting it about 4 or 5 races into the season. You have Herschel and Grodzinski also, actually Herschel the Stig. So Herschel knocks his way into the top 10 going around turn number 6. And so far, so good. Your top 5, you can throw a blanket on them. Eric Halsman up to 7th place, but still this is the battle of the race. Your top 5 all trying to get up there. Take a look at the position gain. Halsman up 13 spots. He's been the gainer all season long, but like we said, one good qualifying lap, and he would have been up here with these group.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's doing a great job, and he's hoping those guys keep fighting up front because it's costing them a half a second per lap, and that's just making it very easy for Halsman to get to claw back some time that he lost from working his way up from the back of the field. So he's hoping these guys fight for the next 20 minutes to give him a chance to get up there and fight with them.
Well, what he needs to catch up to Jack Lindner right now as we're on board with Chris Campanale. They're going to have a lap car here in just a little bit. I do believe that is going to be the 87 of Campbell that they'll catch up to here, as Campbell having some just a little bit of issues nonetheless, but Campanale closing in ever so slightly. Got that long back straightaway to contend with, but I've got to say this, Goff, after try to get around Ahmad earlier on and having some sort of assaults, he's actually looking nice and clean so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a great run. So back up to this front group, and you see the gaps are still pretty close. They're all within draft range of each other, which is what you would expect for this race. As we're working our way through, we're on board there with Latta, having a good run. He's down 2 positions since the start, but he's still sitting there in P5. He's in a good spot. He's not in any hurry to try and make that move up. He's content to just ride around in P5 for the time being and just stay in this group and try and get this closer to the end of the race so they can really start to fight.
L. Woods coming on to us with the YouTube chat saying our SuperLap driver is Archie Woods. So Archie Woods is our SuperLap driver sitting in
awesome.
11th spot. We will get that fixed here momentarily, but nonetheless, this battle for the lead, absolutely fantastic. It's strung out just a little bit. And one has to wonder, Charles, if that dirty air that Campbell is producing has given that top 5 a chance to cork out just a little bit.
Yeah, well, I think it's actually helping break. Yeah, I would say it's actually helping the leader out. He's not constantly under pressure because he has a car in front he can draft off of, and it just keeps the gap, the speed gap between him and the cars behind a little more equal. So it makes it more difficult for them to pass as they work through that lap traffic. It'll be back to status quo, and they'll be up on each other again, I think, in short order.
And, of course, we do have Archie's name now in 11th. There'll be S. Woods for SuperLap Woods.
There you go.
Bruno Canovas out on the circuit 5 laps down as Gavin Walters, tries to let the faster cars go through, but ends up just going off circuit, so he'll go 2 laps down, taking the long way around. Wonder if he's found some offending grass there coming off of turn number 12.
Yeah, I think it's kind of what it looked like. He was over way off in the off of the left. But, he's out of the way, and I think that was a pretty smart move as we're on here with Campanale, half second back. And now that lead car, that lap down car is out of the front, I think these times will start closing up a bit as we see already starting to happen. Ahmad's already within 4/10. So he's getting the double bonus of both cars in front, being able to draft off them. And so you'll see these cars start to squeeze themselves together a little bit more.
Yeah. And by the way, your highest AM driver right now is Jack Lindner, sitting in 6th place, but he's got to deal with Eric Halsman here in just a little bit. There he is right there in 6th place. And look at how much closer Halsman has gotten there. When he did make that passer position, he's about 3 seconds behind. Well, now he's about 1.3 seconds back, running about a half second a lap faster than Lindner. So give it a couple laps, and I think that we're going to have a battle for 6th place.
Yeah, absolutely. And Halsman is running about, until this most recent lap, he was running at the leader's pace. So he's got some good pace in the car. I think they got a little bit of an advantage from the lap down cars. They were, getting a good draft off, and now it is starting to equalize. Is now the leader running a 22:07. Halsman, when he comes across, running a 22:03. So he's got the pace to be up there. He just needs a little bit of help from some fighting cars in front. And as you see, he's already going to be in the draft range of Lindner here very, very soon. So that's going to help him pick up another couple of tenths, I would think, as well.
Yeah, we're going to battle for the lead here shortly between Goff and Campanella. You also have Badoon trying to hold off Woods for that 9th spot. I got to say, and equipment that probably isn't familiar to Woods. He's doing quite well and holding his own right down the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a great run for, his first effort here in the F4 series for SUPERLAP, to be up there just at the edge of the top 10. But having a good run as we see Herschel, the outside curve there in one, locks it down off the racing line, and so that's going to lose him about 5 seconds of time there is not going to do much for his tires either. To be fair.
No, it's not, but that was one hell of a save. As now Ahmad has made his way into 2nd place. So now Ahmad is tired of sitting behind. What happened to Goff? Is Campanelli's your leader now? So Goff is gone too. We have a replay of that actually, as we see. Something must have happened there in turn number 10. Here comes Campanelli under that rear wing. Nice little juke at the last second, side by side through 10A, and just a little bit of a slide. That'll do it.
Yep, absolutely. Just kind of the front wouldn't hook up. Lost the front a little bit, had to correct out of the corner, and that cost him enough time that Ahmad was able to get through. So he's dropped to 3rd, but he's still right there. I mean, it's not over by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's not, but you got to wonder how are those tires going to hold up here in this 30-minute sprint if they're going tooth and nail. You got a 4-car battle for 9th that we're watching right now. Badoon, Woods, Herschel, and Botts. It's actually the battle for 11th as Campanelli and Goff still battling each other there, but we're still got our eye here on the Herschel and Botts trying to go. Here comes Herschel to the inside. I say Botts to the inside. Well, it is Herschel, as they're trying to get themselves into the top 10 and a new leader as Ahmad gets back to the point.
Yeah, absolutely. As Ahmad backs and move to the inside. Campanelli on the inside line hangs on to the position. A good defensive line there. And then we've got a battle here between Goff and Ahmad coming through 11 and 12. And Goff has got the inside line, is going to get the good run. So he's ahead marginally as we come down the front straight and heading into turn 1. And who's going to hold it? Still a dead heat through here. So we're going to come up the hill through 2 into 3. And Goff finally makes it through, gets the position back, but it's cost him almost a full second to Campanelli. He's able to check out with the side-by-side racing between Goff and Ahmad.
Oh, that shutdown there was perfect textbook move, as now Goff loses a little bit of time coming off of turn number 5, almost ended his race right then and there, and lost a couple of tenths of a second. That gap that was a couple of tenths now is 1.9 seconds between first and second, but with halfway through the race, there's still plenty of time because you've got this battle for 4th that could reach up. Halsman now is within a half second of Lindner, so still plenty of time for anything to happen. We've seen so much, but really, we're finally getting to see what these drivers are capable of in these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing a great job up here at the front. Is a lot of moving to the inside. Going to try and make that move into 10A. We didn't cut the corner. I was shocked. That was very, very close, but did not carry enough speed. And looks like Murray was able to hang on to that position for the time being.
Herschel trying to tuck under the wing of Botts there for positioning, and to think better of it. Not necessarily needing to make that aggressive move, and he spins coming off of turn number 10A.
Yeah, and I think that that's the second time we've seen Herschel with the spin. I think that's really starting to degrade his tires. He's going to have to be very careful here for the last half of the race.
And now Halsband is up to 6th spot. Let's see the times. He's about a second quicker than Lotta. Let's take a look at this move coming off of turn number 12. There's a couple of wheels off, no harm, no foul, but under that rear wing, that is an absolute fantastic move to give him up 14 spots.
Yeah, very brave move down into turn 1 on the inside. He's able to carry his speed and make that pass. Now he's up to P6, 14 positions gained and 3 seconds back of P5.
Nose to tail, it's Ahmad and Murray for that 3rd spot. It's strange to see Ahmad falling back, but I'll tell you what, Goff starting to close in on Campanale. We'll keep an eye on this as Murray, he's going to try and tuck to what will be the outside of 10A. A great position to try and stave off any sort of defense as Murray goes around for 4th, has the good line through 10B, but look at that. A nice little defense there as Ahmad able to keep that 3rd spot.
Yeah, that's Murray, and he's able to hang on to P4 over Lotta, and now that's closed him down a little bit more. Hall's been now 2 seconds behind this group. He's going to be up there in short order as the top two, P2 and 3, Goff and Ahmad, are starting to close down Campanale again. The gap's down to 1.5.
That's still a decent lead as now we'll see if Ahmad can catch up to Goff, and indeed he does. So valve for positions, Goff goes off. Oh, Goff goes off, a rare mistake out of the number 10 driver. Of course, that was coming off of turn number 5, a rare spot that you see. So I wonder if the battling that he had has really chirped his tires a little too much.
Yeah, maybe so. Carries it in. Oh, just losing the rear. Just tries to get back in the throttle a little too early on those curbs, and that's just, you can't do it if you've still got some turn in the wheel, and you see the results. Luckily that he didn't hit either of the walls, because I've seen both walls become car disposal areas. So he did a good job of keeping it off the walls and getting it back, but now he's got he's down to P7, so he's got a little bit of time to make up a few spots, and that's brought the others back. As we another look here from Ahmad's car right behind Goff as they come through 5, and just see, just could sail. Ooh, and that was very close. Ahmad, very brave to stick it in there like that, but manages to sneak through, and Goff has got a little bit of work to do now.
He really does, and now it gives Halsband a chance for the podium as he reels in Murray and Lotta. But going back to that replay, that looked like to me that Goff's car was already unsettled by the time he entered into 5.
Yeah, he chipped the inside curb as well, and that unsettled the car and did not help matters for sure.
Oh, go on mute. So just this battle for 3rd place as heating up as Lotta takes a nose to the inside of Murray, and the only person who's really liking this is Halsband. Oh, by the way, Lindner and Goff are sitting back there and licking their chops should any wheel get dropped or go wrong. Now, because of this battle, you do see a 6-second gap between 2nd and 3rd, but nonetheless, here comes Lotta, going to go around the inside of 10A as they're side by side, and this is exactly what Halsband wanted to see.
Yeah, absolutely. He wants that fight up front. It's going to help bring him a little bit closer as Lotta gets through and is able to get past Murray there to take over the 3rd position. Ahmad, we're still watching him. He's still 1.5 back of Campanale, but he doesn't have really any draft help at this point, so it's just going to be on his pace to try and make up that time as we still have this battle going on between Lotta, Murray, and Halsband.
We got about 8 laps left to go in this race as a lot can happen here as Murray now has to worry about the driver behind him, the 255 of Eric Halsband, while he's trying to get around Lotta for that 4th spot. So one eye's going to be out front, one eye's going to be in the mirrors, but Lotta is going to try and go around the hard way around turn number 6 of the outside. Look at his closed in, it's Halsband.
Yeah, he's really closing that gap down, and now he's going to be in a prime position. Needs a good exit out of 7. Need a prime position to at least pick up 1 spot here, maybe 2 if he plays it right.
I would not be surprised if he tries to go for 2, but he'd be smart to go for 1 with as much time is left in this race. As Ahmad's also closed in, but we're watching Halsman. He's going to try and go around the outside of turn number 9. They'll set him up quite nicely for 10A, but he's going to back out just a little bit. Will they go 3 wide for 10A? They indeed try, but Halsman gets around Murray. Murray, though, is going to block him off right there. Here comes Goff.
Yeah, inside Goff on the inside, making it 3 wide through 11.
That is absolutely fantastic as Halsman goes up to 4th.
Wow, what a great move. Staying brave on the outside through 11 and 12. Makes it stick coming through there and is able to get that position. So he didn't manage to pick up 1. Now he's got a little bit of a gap as he's a little squirrely there coming through 3. Got to get that back under control. But I'm sure he's probably trying to just take a deep breath at this point after that little battle 3 wide through 11 and 12.
Up 16 spots. Halsman now a second behind a podium position as the race is coming into its closing stages. Granted, it's going to be an 8-second gap between Alada and Ahmad, but Ahmad still is hungry for that win. He's closing in on Campanale as they go down the back straightaway. Campanale trying to break the draft as best as he can into 10A. He's going to close him off. We got a spinner up in the front.
Yeah, there's a car off in 10B on the right-hand side, and I think they're going to be clear of them. They are indeed, so they're going to get through there just fine. Looks like the car has got itself righted and at least out of the way as these cars now, 2/10 coming down the front straight, and here comes Ahmad looking to the inside, decides to stay behind just for the time being. He's still trying to get that run. He's been very strong down the back stretch, so he's going to be looking for he's going to be looking to set that up coming through coming out of 7, getting that good run and trying to get the position going down into 10A and B.
Still nose to tail through the S's. Mod all over the back of that gearbox. Oh, little wiggle. Is that contact? Campanale's off course. They're still side by side. What a save by the number 3. But it's given Ahmad at least a half a car length gap for that lead. And of course, now they've got slower traffic up ahead.
Yeah, and that was a great save by Campanale coming through. We're going to get a look here from the cockpit, working our way down through the S's. We're going to make entry into turn 5. You see him take a whole lot of inside curb, and the rear just starts to give up. Have to just a handful of opposite lock to catch that car, keep it off the wall, allows Ahmad to get around, and now Campanale is going to play chase for the next couple of laps.
Well, and that's what you need to do here as we have just a handful of minutes left. We are at 23 minutes left to go in this 30-minute race as Ahmad has gotten back to the point. Your pole sitter has been basically all around the top 5, now has the lead. Of course, ahead of them is Alex Carter, the last car on the lead lap. So we'll see if Ahmad's just going to sit patiently, catch the draft of Carter, or if they decide to go for a battle. Halsman now up to 3rd place, gotten around Lada. Here comes Goff. Goff goes around Lada as well. So they're going to go side by side. So far, so good as Goff now sits in 4th place.
Oh, no, and Campanale's got a black flag. He has got a black flag for, he's off the track.
Oh, what? He might have had some sort of issue.
I was going to say he may have had an issue, but the black flag is usually a incident point limit, and that may be why that might have been a 4X there. We'll keep an eye on this and kind of watch it a little more. And is he going to have to make He's going to make more contact. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
yeah, there it is. So we've got an incident limit here during the race, and that looks like that might have been 8X out of the 17 that they have as a maximum. So, it's a tough break for Campanale, and that's going to basically, unless something happens, that's going to give Ahmad the win. It's going to be very difficult for Halsman, who is now up to P2, to make up 6 seconds here in the last 6 minutes.
Oh, Halsman going to the inside of Goff there. to keep Goff from going to second place. So Goff's going to go high, wide, and handsome. This is going to be interesting as Goff's going to get second place through turn 2, but how long will he keep it? Not very long. Going through turn number 3, it's still Halsband and Goff. They're still side by side, neck and neck through turn number 4. So tight as it looks like that both those drivers, little slight contact. Oh, Goff spins! Halsband goes off. So this race is going to be so tight for those two. Not sure if there's net code, some sort of contact, but both drivers are underway watching for black flags, and neither of them have got them.
Yeah, no black flags, no meatball flags, mechanicals. You see them, the battle coming through turn 3. Yeah, here we go through the S's. I'm sorry, and there we go. Yeah, maybe just the lightest bit of contact from the wheels sends Goff around on a heavy G point in the track, and also Halsband having to go wide to avoid any further contact. He's dropped him down to P5, Goff down to P6, and that's given Lindner P2 with a 9-second gap up to Ahmad sitting there in P1. Ooh, as we got a car going sideways, that's the 12 car. Still trying to hang on to that car. That's Lindner trying to stay in front as he's got all kinds of pressure from behind.
About 3.5 minutes left to go in this race, so about 3 laps to go, maybe more, just maybe less, but a lot of Lindner, Murray, and Halsband are all sitting there within a half a second of each other as they work their way around turn number 1, now through 2. Lotta now in second place. Ahmad, he's got a 9-second lead, so he could really breathe just a little bit easier as they go through the S's. Murray trying to hold off Halsband. Halsband wants to get back on that podium spot, but he's got to get through Murray for it.
Yeah, he's got some work to do now with about 3 minutes left in the race, so probably just maybe 2 laps at the line, I think, to go. So he's got a couple cars to pass, but he's about to get into this draft, and so he'll get a chance to at least get one of them going down the back straight.
Still nose to tail as we see the back of Murray. He's got Halsband all in his mirrors as he tries to get around Lindner as they try and break the draft. They're side by side, Lindner and Murray are. We know how unsettled Lindner was last time by. Let's see what happens as Lindner has the line through 10A, will not have the advantage through 10B as Murray has it through 10B, gets in there, and look at Halsband. He's going to try and go 2 for 1 and does make it. Move Halsband to 4th for the time being. Now Murray is the next driver he wants.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's going to have the run down in turn 1. He's always been pretty good on the inside going into 1. He's able to take that car really deep into the apex and is able to carry the speed. They're still side by side going up the hill to 2.
Still nose to tail through 2 and into the right-hander at turn number 3. We got about 2 laps to go as Ahmad with that commanding lead, but this is the battle for the race right now between Murray, Halsband, Lindner, and Goff. Goff still in contention for that podium. Look at Halsband closing in. Oh, Murray does not let him have no quarter for Murray as he lets Halsband fall back to 6th. That was an interesting move to kind of hold off that track position. Been a couple of questionable moves here over the past couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was anything illegal about it. But, it's, you try and race clean as you can, and that was he just said, no, you can't come back onto the track. You're offline, and you need to lift if you're going to get back here, and you're going to be behind me to do it.
3 wide for position. This is for the 4th spot. Now it's 2 wide as Goff is going to let the Halsband go through. And now these 3 drivers are trying to close in on Murray. Oh, a little bit of an off there by Halsband. Is this going to be race over? It's a white flag for Ahmad. Last lap as the field works their way around. What mayhem we have seen these past 5 or so minutes as Halsband now holds off Lindner for that 5th spot, but Goff starting to walk away with 4th.
Yeah, he is starting to walk away. Halsband just looks like he's pushing for everything he's got, and I think maybe a little too much. He's just carrying too much speed through a couple of corners, going wide, maybe getting a little scruffy there. But it's still in front of Lindner, so he's sitting there in P5, which is going to be a fantastic result. But obviously, when you were sitting up there running in 2nd, this is probably not the result you thought you were going to have about 3 laps ago.
No, and didn't think that Ahmad was going to open up such a huge lead. Walters with an off, and he's going to get a slowdown penalty. But nonetheless, still the battle for the podium position has yet to play, and that's between Murray and Goff. Halsbin and Lindner, they're kind of out of position unless something happens with somebody dropping a wheel. There is Murray right now in that third spot, but it's been all Ahmad coming off the crest of turn number 11. Now setting up for turn number 12. Checker flag is out. Your pole sitter makes his way to the front and wins here at Road Atlanta. But this battle for second place, third place heats up between Goff, Murray, and Halsbin. Right now, Goff has a nose out front. Halsbin's going to go wide. Checker flag is out. Goff gets that third place by 0.003 seconds.
Jeez. We had .003, and the Halsbin off the track 1.5 tenths behind Leonard to finish 6th, and that's just a fantastic battle there at the end of the race for that final podium position. But great job by Ahmad and Latta. They kept their car clean. They stayed out of trouble, and as the other cars fell away, they were able to capitalize and get a nice P1 and P2 out of that.
We've got Herschel coming across the line. That's going to be car 9, William Grayson coming across the line around turn number 1. Here comes Herschel and Grudzinski, or Woods and Herschel, I should say. All right, so we're going to go for a replay of the Goff pass here. Look at this. So Goff sitting there in position, just tucked in, and that's exactly what he needed to do.
Yep, absolutely. Gets the run. Gets to the inside at 10A. It's almost got him cleared. Gets a good corner as the inside car jumps the curb. That was enough to allow Goff to get the good run out. Halsbin jumping in there is thinking, I can get in there some way or another. Not so much out on the outside in the grass to cross the start-finish line. And we'll say Archie Woods there, SUPERLAP 5 car, has a black flag on the last lap, which is going to drop him down the order. Sadly, he had a good run setting up there in P10 at the finish, but I believe it's going to drop him down. Yeah, it does, down to P12.
All right, Charles, a good race, but unfortunately we've got a wrap here. Let's go through the field real quick. Zohair Ahmad, Brennan Lott, and Ryan Goff round out your podium here for this Road Atlanta round. Then it's Chris Murray, Eric Halsbin rounding out your top 5. Let's welcome in Zohair Ahmad real quick as we look at our final take a look at our final list there. And let me try and get this down here. Zohair Ahmad, your winner. I've got to say this, Zohair, real quick. Did you think it was going to be that crazy?
No, I did not. It was a hell of a race, crazy race. Just not what I expected.
Let's talk about, you fell back to about 5th, made your way up to the front, but nonetheless, you got the elbows out here. We'll take a look at this start, and it was kind of a mess.
Yeah, I knew the start was gonna be rough because normally Road Atlanta the green flag drops is usually in a weird place, so I was expecting it to be earlier than I expected. It still caught me off guard, and I dropped back a little bit. Then I knew it was just about staying consistent, and then the opportunities would eventually come.
All right, Zohair, got a great race under your belt. Is there anybody you want to thank?
I like to thank my family, my mom, my dad, my sister. I also like to thank Thay's Competition and SUPERLAP for allowing me to be part of their esports team. I also like to thank the DRCA for hosting these great races.
All right, we'll see you next week. And God, what a great race that was. Congratulations.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Well, Charles, that about does it for us. We've got another round next week, but let's take a quick little breather after this one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great race. Really happy that we had such a fantastic battle on the track. It was great to see, and can't wait to see what we get next week.
All right, I'm Jeremy Scott alongside Charles Boschel and Jonathan Grabowski. Remember to keep it between the lines, keep it between the ditches, and always greasy side down. We'll see you next week here on Apex Racing TV.